Hello, this unit that we're going to talk about today is called a sod cutter. Now, just as the name implies, this is for cutting sod. If you have an existing lawn and you want to remove it and say it's been infested with bugs or with grubs and you want to strip your lawn and get rid of it, this would be a better choice than going along and using a rototiller, tilling up all the lawn and the grass, and then having that job of raking it all out and spending hours. Now, what this does is it will strip the grass off, roll it up, and take it away. If it's bad grass, then you can spray it for grubs or whatever, and then replace it at some point. But it leaves you a nice smooth surface as opposed to a surface that you have to rake to get smooth from using a rototiller. Let's say you're going to put in a above ground pool. You have to strip the grass off. You can mark where you're going to put your pool. You can go, usually they're circular above grounds. You can go all the way around it and cut the grass off very easily. But the beauty part about it is it's going to leave you a flat surface. If you have a irregular surface and you're putting your pool on top, even if you put sand or anything, eventually that surface underneath becomes very uneven and ragged, and sometimes to the point allowing items to project through your bottom of your pool liner. Now, one thing people remember is to cut the soil, but say you're going to put a little dish in the, as a lot of people do, you don't usually leave the pool bottom flat, you want to have it a little deeper in the middle. Well, you can strip off the grass, but then you can go over it again and just cut the dirt. And by cutting the dirt, at least you're breaking it up so it's very easy to rake the soil off. And again, still leaving you a nice flat surface underneath. It does a great job for that. It saves a lot of work, but it'll also allow you, if you're going to put foam underneath or sand, to have a nice, perfect surface to work with. So some of the things that you need to know on a sod cutter is, this is the blade under here. This blade will be going back and forth very quickly. The wheel will be turning. So on this particular machine, it will cut you a swath of sod 18 inches wide. It will cut the sod to a depth that you can adjust. Right here with this lever here, you can adjust it up or down. You can make the blade go up or down. And I'll just show you here by unlocking it. You'll see the blade moves up and down. You can adjust that depth. Of course, it's going to be lower than the wheel in front. So you can adjust that depth, lock it, and then cut your sod. If you're going to get rid of your sod, you can make it very thin so that you don't take a lot of your soil with it. If you're going to keep the sod and use it somewhere else, you can make it a little thicker. Then it's easy to roll up. Because this is cutting it, it's up to you to roll it up. So you can cut it to the length that you want so that it's easy to handle, but you can make it a little thicker, take it and put it in your other spot where you want to use it. Now, that's all adjustable, and sometimes it depends on how firm or how good the grass is how thick you can make it as well. Now, here's your other lever to do that, to release it and drop it. And a little tip when you're using it for the first time is, because that blade is below the drum in the front or the drive wheel, dig yourself a little trench. Loosen it off, drop the blade down to the depth you think you want to try, lock it, and then you can go forward. Because if you don't have it locked in a little ditch to start off with, you're going to have the machine up in the air like this to start. And sometimes it gets going a little fast because the wheel will start turning, the blade's going, and what you do is you scoop it into the soil, you use it, and then as you go along, you're going to pick it up to pull it out of the grass. And that's how you get out of your cut. There is no reverse on these machines, so don't run yourself straight into a fence or run yourself into a spot where you can't get out, because it's a little ugly when you have some grass underneath there and you're stuck against a fence or a wall or something. The only way to get it out is to pull it out. So that's that you want to avoid if you can. So the thing you're going to do is adjust that, lock your blade, I'm going to show you on this particular machine on this other side a couple of levers. All right, we've got a red one and a yellow one in this particular unit. When this red one is up, that sends power to the wheel. When this one's up, that engages and sends power to the blade, so the blade can go back and forth. That would be your operating position. You put your fail-safe handle down. As long as this handle's down, the things will operate. If this is up at all, or if you trip or fall or something happens, you let that handle go, everything stops, but the engine keeps going. So this has to be down. That's a safety handle. And you run your speed, full speed when you're using these units. Now, you can't stand around and just walk at any kind of slow pace. The machine will dictate how fast it's going to go along. The red handle, is what engages everything, and what it's doing is pushing an idler against a belt. It puts tension on it, and then the machine operates. So you can have both hands on the handles as you're using it. If you come along and you want to stop, you would pull this handle up and to stop the unit from going. Now, one thing to do is when you're loading it, or say you've got it at your property and you want to take it around to the backyard, some people turn around and they just push it. Well, start the machine, put your drive wheel on, give power to the drive wheel, and then you can drive it around to your backyard, or drive it back out, or drive it up a ramp onto a truck or a trailer for transporting. And that way you can use the power of the unit rather than just trying to push it around, because the unit is fairly heavy. And it takes a little bit to push this, especially if you're trying to go up hills or anything. So again, use this where you want to strip lawns, you want to replace a lawn, you want to put in a pool, or have some reason that you want to take up putting in a deck or something, some reason you may want to reuse the sod if it's good, or if it's not good you want to dispose of it. Don't use it when it's muddy or too wet, and take your time when you're using it. And make sure when you transport this machine particularly that it's secure, because if it tips over, you're going to have a hard time getting this thing restarted. So good luck on your projects. Hopefully you'll be putting a pool in soon and you'll think about this machine.